The flashing red and blue lights painted the quiet city street as Officer Mark Daniels stepped out of his patrol car. The air was tense, heavy with the weight of an unfolding encounter that no one could yet predict. Ahead of him stood a black woman in her mid-30s, her hands raised and her expression calm, though her eyes betrayed an undercurrent of fear. The woman, Maya Thompson, had been pulled over for a broken taillight, but Mark quickly ran her plates and claimed to find a warrant for her arrest. His voice was clipped, professional, but firm as he told her to step out of the car. "I don't understand," Maya said, her voice steady but tinged with confusion. "There must be a mistake." Mark didn't flinch. Years on the force had taught him to follow procedure, not emotions. But as he cuffed her, he couldn't shake a strange feeling, a nagging unease, as though he'd seen her before. The tension escalated when Maya began to speak as she was escorted to the back seat of the patrol car. "Officer Daniels," she said quietly, "do you believe in second chances?" Mark froze. Her tone wasn't pleading, it was almost knowing. But he dismissed it, brushing off the odd remark as a distraction. At the station, the situation took a surprising turn. The warrant, which was supposed to be for unpaid parking tickets, didn't match Maya's name or record. It had been a clerical error, a mistake that should have never led to an arrest. But Maya didn't seem angry. Instead, she sat in the holding room with a composed demeanor, as if she had been expecting this. Mark was ordered to release her immediately, and he braced himself for a heated confrontation, or even legal repercussions. Instead, Maya looked him in the eye and said, "This was meant to happen." Mark's irritation bubbled to the surface. "Meant to happen? You were wrongfully arrested." She smiled faintly. "Sometimes things aren't as simple as they seem." Still rattled by the encounter, Mark returned to his patrol that night, but he couldn't shake the strange interaction. The next day, he found an envelope on his desk addressed to him. Inside was a letter that began, "Officer Daniels, you don't know me, but I know you. Years ago, you made a choice that changed my life." Mark's pulse quickened as he read on. The letter recounted an incident from his rookie days, a late-night call about a domestic disturbance. The details were hazy, but Maya remembered everything. She had been a scared young woman in a volatile household, and Mark had been the responding officer. Instead of arresting her or escalating the situation, he'd offered words of encouragement, guiding her to a shelter and connecting her with resources to start over. "I never forgot that night," the letter continued. "You saved me, and because of that, I built a life I'm proud of. I became an advocate for women in crisis, helping those who feel trapped like I once did. Last night wasn't a mistake, it was a reminder. Even when you forget the good you do, it leaves an imprint." Mark sat in stunned silence, the letter trembling in his hands. He had no memory of the encounter Maya described, but the depth of her gratitude was undeniable. As the days passed, Mark sought Maya out not to apologize, but to thank her. They met in a CAF, where she revealed the full story of her journey, the nights spent in shelters, the struggles to rebuild, and the eventual triumphs as she became a community leader. She spoke with pride, not just about herself, but about how Mark's small act of kindness had sparked a ripple effect in her life. The final twist came when Maya shared her newest project, a community outreach program aimed at bridging the gap between law enforcement and marginalized communities. "I want you to be part of it," she said. "You've shown that even the smallest actions can have the greatest impact." Mark hesitated, grappling with the complexities of his role and the system he served. But as he looked at Maya, a woman who had every reason to distrust him but instead chose to build a bridge, he felt something shift within him. The encounter left both of them changed, their lives intertwined by fate and choice. It wasn't a story of redemption or retribution, but of humanity in its rawest form, flawed, resilient, and capable of profound transformation. As Mark walked away that day, he couldn't help but feel that the unexpected twist wasn't just Maya's forgiveness, it was the spark of hope that they could both make a difference, together.